What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here. As always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. You know, it's kind of great actually being a Dallas Cowboys YouTuber. The thing about being a Dallas Cowboys YouTuber is there's never a lack of things to talk about. There never is. There's always drama going on. And I guess this is by design from Jerry Jones because Jerry Jones, of course, loves for you to have the Dallas Cowboys in your mouth. He does. And we constantly have so much material to get to. And it's almost to the point of being comical how crazy some of the stuff is. I want you to think about this. We're always told that we can't afford. You can't build a team through free agent stuff. Now, whether you believe that there's some guys out there that can help you, and I believe that some of them can help us. I do believe that there are players out there as free agents that are possibly guys that could make you a better team. You know, for me, I remember back in the day, a few years ago, when I was talking about Calais Campbell when he was coming off of the Cardinals. And of course, they say you can't afford a guy like that. You can't build a team by getting free agents. So we go out and we do things like, let's draft a Taco Charlton. Well, you can't build a team by drafting tacos. You can't build a team by drafting tacos. And as much as we say that getting a free agent is a crapshoot, because it is. Here's what's amazing is when you think about what the Rams have done. Now, let's be clear here. I want you to understand the problem for the Rams is because they've been all in for the last few years and pulling in talent, they've traded away all of their top picks. You know, they gave away picks for Von Miller. You know, we talk about we can't spend money. Understand, they traded away, a third-round pick for Von Miller for half a season? They got great production out of him. They paid him some money. Same thing with Odell Beckham. They paid him some money. It brought them a Super Bowl. And now that they've given up all these draft picks, they don't have picks until the fifth round. So free agency is their draft because the draft is where you're looking for an infusion of talent to make your team better. They're using free agency as their draft. And so they look out and they say, let's go ahead and say to Bobby Wagner, here's what we can offer you. We can offer you the opportunity to have vengeance against the Seattle Seahawks twice in the next year. We're a good team that's a veteran presence. We're in where you grew up. You're in your hometown. We can offer you this stuff here. You've made plenty of money. We can get you on a deal. And when you hear the numbers for the whole contract, and this is what I tell you guys that you don't seem to understand. When you listen to a guy like Skip Bayless and he tells you that Dak Prescott, he fleeced the Dallas Cowboys for $70 million. Yeah, well, you know, I hate to tell you, but that is chump change now as far as quarterback compensation. You could say that Deshaun Watson, who's not guaranteed that he can play a single game this year, has now fleeced guaranteed $235 million from the Cleveland Browns. They are basically all in and they have everything to lose on this. But it's not so much the numbers that you see there. It's creative financing. I don't know if you've ever heard of like balloon payments. Well, basically, this is what you got with Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner signed the big deal, 5-year deal, and we looked at it and said, oh man, you don't want Bobby Wagner the next 5 years. How can they do it? And you look at Von Miller, he got a 6-year deal that's worth like $105 million. That's too much money. Forget about that. It's only the guaranteed money. And what teams are doing is they're putting voidable years on there to basically say, yeah, that money's there, but it's voidable, and so it just disappears. Bobby Wagner's cap hit this year is $6 million. $6 million. So when I tell you guys about the Dallas Cowboys, when you think about We're paying $6 million right now in dead money for Amari Cooper. So for the same amount of money that we're paying for Amari Cooper not to be here, the Rams have Bobby Wagner. I want you to understand, because of the contract that they made with Jaylon Smith when they didn't have to, where Jaylon Smith is no longer on the team and hasn't been since the middle of last season, that Jaylon Smith on our cap is costing us more money to not be here than what the Rams are taking as a cap hit for Bobby Wagner to be there. Now, you can debate whether or not Bobby Wagner fits the system, or if he's old and if you can get dividends and things. But life is full of risk. There is no guarantees in anything. There aren't any. You know how many businesses that start out and they fail? You know how many of the big guys out there, the richest people in the world, how many times they failed? But they kept trying, and you're trying to find, well, this one didn't work, so I've got to find out something else that does. And this is where you get creative, because as much as the Cowboys said we need to move on from Amari Cooper, the reality is the Cleveland Browns are paying him less money this year. They're only paying, I think, $4.8 million of a cap hit, when we are sitting here without him paying $6 million on the cap. This is mismanagement by the Cowboys. And when you're told you can't afford guys, that's really a crock of crap. You can afford if you want to afford. And as we keep saying that you can't do this, you can't do that. Okay, well, apparently other teams can and will and are winning. And the Cowboys, well, we're America's team. We've got that. We make a lot of money. Or, excuse me, Jerry Jones makes a lot of money. We them boys, we show up strong at the autograph signings. We got 5 rings that most people don't know much about, the people that earned them. In fact, some people think that the Cowboys lost their first 3 Super Bowls, which, now, know your Cowboy history. But this is stubbornness, literally from Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones, that instead of changing and evolving, want to prove everybody that I know best, that we're smarter than everybody else. It is trying to fit a square peg into a round hole and basically dying on your sword with what you believe. And unfortunately, we as the fans, we keep getting told, you can't build a team through free agency. Well, I've seen a few of them that have supplemented it. Now, I am going to, later on, and probably tonight during our live stream, I'll look at the flip side of free agency and the perils that happen with it. So, there you go. $6 million for a cap hit. Wow.